And Sean too.
Nice, nice. But how great would that be, right?
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
4 in a week, 4 licensed teammates in a week. Erica would be fired up. Erica, are
Yes,
you
yes.
ready for that?
I am ready for that. Let's
She's like,
do
I'm
it.
waiting on some bonuses here. Will
Bonus
somebody
time.
do some things?
Yes, because I need my hair done, Joe.
we gonna get your hair did.
Hey, Erica, are you able to do what's happening now?
Oh no.
You're not?
Let me check. Hold. Let me see if I
Don't
have it.
worry about it. Don't worry. If you can't, you can't. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll have Chris do it.
Oh, that is. Yeah.
What?
All right, Chris.
What?
He's downstairs. He goes, huh?
Oh yeah.
He's cooking dinner.
Oh, I love it.
Are you ready, Chris? Are you gonna do what's happening now? Everybody wants you to.
He's gotta
Multitask.
cook and do what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, why not?
With a spatula in one hand and the clicker in another. Do it.
Okay, we're gonna see how this works here. It's gonna be fabulous. All right. I am going to. I mean, definitely, I think Joe should be doing it, but Joe's working so hard. He's like, I don't know if I have the ability to do that as well. Oh, his licensed teammates, I think, know he's the man. They know. I feel like Chris is trying to switch this over to you, Joe. And on his behalf, I will say that since he's not on screen at this moment, that I will agree with him. And I think the guy with the new license should do what's happening now.
Whatever you need.
All right, thank you.
Wait, what's for dinner?
I feel it's the right thing to do, really, Joe. It's the right thing.
What's for dinner, he said.
We are having freshly caught fish. We're eating fried freshly caught fish. But right now I'm making dog food, so.
We're not eating that. Our
Good.
dog eats better than a lot of people. Like, no joke. He gets pumpkin and rice and liver and I don't know, a bunch of stuff.
People don't really want to know that, dear.
That's what happens when you get to be an RVP. Your husband stays home and makes dog food. Or your wife. Your wife can do that. It's fine. Either way. Eva, I am glad you are on today. I was telling Eva, I was telling Eva the dream, Joe, telling about all the things. Eva's been in social services for years and is ready to do something different. Is that right, Eva?
Good evening. Yes. Yes. Time.
I can relate.
Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So after what was that?
I didn't have the right Facebook. I'm not a Facebook person really. And so I put your name on the Facebook thing and I put up the wrong one for you. So
there should not be another one for me. So if there's another one, somebody's duplicating me. I only have one.
The 1970 3?
I mean, we'll have to talk about this after because I don't know. That was Instagram. I'll look.
Which one?
I'll look, and
Okay.
and I'll see what I can. But it should have the picture that I sent you.
Okay.
Janice is on. Hello, Janice. Hey, Loya.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Janice, is Sean able to be on today, or?
I'm not sure. I'm at the house.
Okay. Okay.
So I know he was up earlier. So he may be asleep now.
Okay. Everybody keep Sean in your prayers. He is in the hospital, working through some stuff.
Will do.
Be getting started here in just a couple minutes. Taylor's Joe said he would happily do what's happening now after Chris complained that he wasn't ready yet.
Not even complaining. What Chris did is delegating like a leader. And what's even better is Joe, like the champion that he is, took it head on, no issue. We love that.
Love that.
That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
Delegation at its finest.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Joe, I'm so excited for you. We got what's happening now updated just for you, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and share it if you'd like. But if you want to just take a second peek at that, man, gotcha. All right.
Where am I peeking?
What's happening now is saved in your Canva.
Oh.
We'll be starting in 1 minute, y'all. What's up, Lori? Glad to have you on. Naomi, Ty. Ty's a champ, man. Ty is a champ. He's been self-improving a lot, Geli.
Love that. Love
Self-improving
that.
a lot.
That is that's the key to everything.
Yeah.
That is the key to everything.
I could see the difference in him just over the past couple days, so it's very exciting.
Very impressed. Proud of you, big time.
All right, here we go. What's up, Denise? Glad you're on. Yeah, the self-improvement makes a difference. Ty said he's ready to bounce back. He's being coachable, Geli, just so you know, he's being coachable and set up a one-on-one with Erica to do an exam prep.
Awesome.
So he said I'm ready. Ain't that right, Erica? Very, very proud of that.
Hello, Denise. Jordan. We got Jordan on today.
Listen, special appearance for the licensed agent.
Recognition. Jordan just got his license, passed the license exam today, right? So second time's a charm. We've got, you are definitely an inspiration to a lot of people that are wanting to do that same thing. So we're very, very proud of you. Excited for that district leader promotion, man. Very excited.
Hey, listen, we about to kick this thing off. I'm so excited about tonight. Let me tell y'all what the agenda is. If you have a teammate right now who is not on tonight, send them a message right now. Send them a text message, send them a telegram. This is going to be this training that y'all are seeing tonight is about the numbers, but more importantly, it's about fighting through adversity. What we're going to be going over tonight has not been done on Team Catalyst. I'm telling you, okay? We're going to record it, but I don't even know if we're going to be able to send it out, okay? Because of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. So send a message to your teammate. You got to be on tonight. We're going to be going over what's happening now. Beast Mode himself is going to be doing that here in a second. So when he comes on, y'all show him a lot of love. Right after we're done, Geli and Joe are actually going to be doing a question and answer, because Joe is leading the way and really showing what it takes to work this business as with a full-time effort and making great income part-time with that. And then right afterwards, Coach Geli is opening up her books, y'all, has never done it before, opening up her books and going to be talking about cash flow, but talking about her Primerica journey from start until now. Okay, so we need you guys to be, I'm talking about full energy, full excited. Even if you can't be on camera, use the chat, whatever you need to. So let's bring up for the one only. We call him Dr. Joe, but for this month, he's Mr. Beast Mode himself. Take yourself off mute and give a round of applause to Joe. Let's go, Joe Francis. Let's make it happen, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, can you share?
I sure am. I sure will share just for you, sir. It's all shared, just taken care of, man. Whenever you're ready. I'll keep it easy for you.
I gotta find
We
it.
even got Jalen on. Hey, Jalen. Hey, Mike and April.
Jalen said, "What's up?"
Peggy.
And we call Jalen 100K. Okay, he's the 100K man.
Love that. Hey,
right.
Naomi. Hello, Lori.
So you just tell me when to click through,
good
Joe,
evening,
okay?
good evening. All right. Take action, August. Here we go. Leadership development with Dennis Viant, Team of Destiny. For those who went to convention, we got to do the Team of Destiny breakout. That was awesome. Getting up close and personal with those $1 million rings and Circle of Champion rings. This is the hierarchy we are with. So Monday, September 9th, 10:45 a.m. I'm in personal leadership development with Dennis Viant. If you can, please be on for that. I'm sure that's going to be great. We felt his energy again at the convention. Life and Securities Licensing Blitz. This month we have the company incentive. If you complete your pre-licensing course within 30 days of your IBA, it is $150 up from the normal $100. So please, any teammates you got, remind them of that. Let's take full advantage of that and put an extra $50 in our pockets. The RVP incentive: pass your license exam by September 2nd and get a $50 bonus. Jordan did not know about that. He's on today. Congrats, son.
Cash.
Congrats. The company incentive: pass the SIE and Series 6 or 63. Submit 1,000 in securities production before September 30th. Before September 30th, and that's a $350 bonus. That's big. I know we have teammates studying for that. Good luck to everyone. Hit them books. Let's go ahead and get that bonus. And our RVP incentive for the same, pass that SIE Series 6, 63, or 26 and get an additional $50 bonus. We got some bonuses going on this month.
Come on.
Let's take advantage. The SIE study group hosted by Yvette, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Please take advantage of that. I hear that's a really productive group, so take advantage. And, study, let's get that bonus. Series 6 study group. After the SIE, Series 6 is next. Series 6 study groups, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. What an awesome team we have. All these study groups, everybody dedicated to helping each other get licensed and move forward in business. So, awesome team. Let's take advantage of that. Reminder, FNA Fridays with Coach Geli. Remember, she's taking out her time to teach us about the financial needs analysis. That's 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern each Friday. She's breaking down a piece of that financial needs analysis. If we get really good at presenting that, that's really going to lead to one, helping more people, right, and adding to your business. So please take advantage of that on Fridays. Saturday RVP University. This is 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. This Saturday, recruiting, closing, and mindset training, right? If we want to get big in this business, if we want to move, if we want to evolve, we know we've got to get good at recruiting. We know we've got to get good at closing, right? So let's come on Saturday, hype about that. Let's learn about that mindset, right? So we can recruit and close to full ownership.
That's right. That full ownership. I know that's right, Joe. Say that.
That's where we're working. 45 days left to the East Coast Builder School. October 11th and 12th down in Clearwater, Florida. If you can, if you're able, let's prepare now to all meet down in Clearwater in October for the East Coast Builder School. This was my first big event I went to at the ECBS last April. Did wonders for me. Just feeling the energy there in person. It's just it's different. So again, if you can be there, it's only $30 for registration. Let's all meet there and grow as a team. Recognition categories for the East Coast Builder School, right? We talked about this before, right? Personal recruits, 4 personal recruits, get you some recognition. 10 team recruits, get you recognition. 10,000 in team premium, get you recognition. All 3 get you that mega beast plaque. All right, we only have about 5 days left to the end. We're going to fight for this until the end of August.
That's right.
So let's all kick in. We only got 5 days left. Let's all dig our heels in, right? Pull out all the stops. Let's all meet at the East Coast Builder School on stage.
Correct.
That'd be awesome if we could all meet on stage. Let's go.
So real quick, where's your team at right now?
We are at 7 team recruits, a little under 5,000 in premium.
Okay, so let me call it out real quick. If you are on Joe's team, if you might not feel in 5 days that you can do 4 directs or 10 face shop recruits or 10K personal, anybody can do it, right? If you don't feel like you could do it, you pushing for your upline is one of the best things that you could be able to do. That means that y'all's team needs 3 more recruits within the next 5 days and 5,000 in premium. So everything counts. Remember, what you do for your uplines, your downlines will do for you. So let's keep pushing. Have beast mode on stage if you can. That right there is going to be a big win. So Joe, thank you for letting me send that announcement. That right there counts because I know you pushing hard, man. I really know you
Absolutely. Absolutely appreciate that. Are you a beast? Are you a beast? Qualify for an exclusive dinner with RVPs by earning those one of those beast categories and getting on stage at East Coast Builder School.
Yes.
I don't know what we'll be eating, but I'm sure it's going to be great. All right, I'm sure it's going to be a great experience.
I know it. You see here, that's it right there, Joe. Great job, man.
That's it. All right,
Great
all right.
job. Yeah, man.
That's your what's happening now in Take Action August.
Let's go. Let's go. Give a round of applause to Dr. Joe, please. He might not be able to hear you, but he can see y'all, okay? Great job on that. Put it right on the spot, okay? You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Great job on that, Joe.
Right on.
All right. Now, let's bring it up. We got our coach, Geli, doing a question and answer, like I said, and I'm so excited, y'all. We're going to put some numbers up on the screen here in a few minutes. But this right here is really going to be a great time for you to be able to take notes, for us to take notes, because it's not about what was done before, okay? What Joe is doing is literally the Primerica system. And so I'm really excited about it. We will be recording this, but strap in. Let's make it happen. Give a round of applause to our coach, RVP, future SVP, Geli. Let's go, Coach Geli. Come on.
Hello, hello. I'm excited for tonight. This is something that I always love, is highlighting teammates that are seeing success. And I know you guys are probably like, we are sick and tired of Joe. Like, I mean,
Never.
I'm kidding. Nobody could be sick and tired. But
Never.
the people that are jealous, right? The people that they're like, how come you're not highlighting me? Right? How come you're highlighting Joe all the time? And let me tell you why. Because as Taylor just said, so far this month, right? And you guys might think like it's the 27th, it's already the end of the month. Primerica's months are crazy. And so we've got almost a whole week to close out this month. And he's going to make it happen. So your goal, Joe, for this month was what?
Was 4 personal recruits, 10 team, and 10K team premium.
And for you to be to get that mega beast recognition,
right. All 3 would be the mega beast.
All 3 would be the mega beast. And so now I just want to ask real quick, because I know you are the type of guy who, when we talked like a year ago, you said, you know, I'm not all big into the hype, into the recognition, and that stuff doesn't motivate me. And you know yourself, because you've been around for a while. You're not like, you know, just out of college. So would you agree that your experience in corporate and your experience in Primerica is a little bit different?
Yes.
Would you agree that something is inside of you now that you didn't know existed when it came to recognition and when it came to seeing success?
Yes. Yes. There's a difference.
And so are you motivated by things that you didn't even know you'd be motivated by?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. By the recognition, yes, because the recognition leads to the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. So
that's the realization.
And that is huge. That is for a lot of us, right? I've said for years, like a plaque I don't need to hang it on my wall to feel good, right? Not all of us want that. But when you do get that recognition, you know that you're leading. So Joe, if you could just take a minute and tell us about your career, how long you've been doing what you're doing, and what your day job is.
It's the day job is child protection, so I do child protection. So I do child abuse and neglect investigations. I supervise those investigations. I have 5 investigators that go out into the field on a daily basis and, you know, do those investigations. So I've been doing that for 23 years now. 23 years now, same office. It's been a it's been a long road. It's been a blessing. For you know, I've been afforded me to be able to take care of my family, and so forth. But you know, it's a little draining now after 23 years. A little draining. So happy to be here, and looking forward to something again.
So thank you for sharing that. So when you bumped into Primerica originally, and DeMorial had prospected you, first of all, you weren't even where you live. Where were you prospected? Why were you there? And what was kind of your mindset when that happened?
Well, you know, I've started to begin to think about retirement, right? And looking towards that next step, and what I'm going to do, you know, after I leave the state. At that point, it was a little over 3.5 years, I think it was, I had left. It's down to 2 years now. But I was looking
Not
for
that you're counting.
something. Oh, I'm trying to slow my counting down in my mind because I want to go now. But I was looking for what I would do with that next step. You know, my wife said, if you're gonna, I'll be retiring 5 years early. So, you know, she said, if you're gonna retire early, like, what are you gonna do? You can't just sit around. I said, I'll pump gas. I'll do anything. I need to get out of here. I want to do something different. So I was looking for something different. We had just bought a second home in Florida. So we were in Florida, down there, getting the home together. And she wanted to go to Marshall's. And I usually don't go in. I usually sit in the car with her. But for some reason this day I went on into Marshall's with her and was walking around. And Mr. Jones came up to me and prospected me.
And you've talked a little bit about that before, is where your mindset was at, right? Is that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Now we know Jamoriel's
Exactly.
got suave and grace and all that, and I'm sure he said all the right things and made you feel special. But what was the biggest thing that he said or did that made you think, okay?
Well, you know, you're right. He couldn't have said the wrong thing to me that day, right? Because I was looking. But it was just simply, do you keep your options open to make you know, some extra money part time? Um, I think he said about, you know, extra $2,000 a month, and you know, I laughed, but I said absolutely. So we, you know, we exchanged numbers, and I called him, you know, as soon as I got home.
So what I want everybody to hear, right, is Joe didn't say yes to a potential $1 million a year income. Joe said yes to a part-time income of a couple $1,000s a month.
Yes.
And so that was 2 years ago, approximately.
Yep.
And so tell me about the first year in business. Did you make $1 million?
I don't think I made anything. I don't think I made
I mean,
anything.
the goal was $2,000 a month, right? But we know you were part-time. What was your focus, and where were you? Was there a focus, and where were you at with it?
There really wasn't a focus. Again, I was looking for something to do, you know, when I leave the state. Of course, I was still here. So listening to the opportunity, I knew it was a great opportunity. So I knew it was something I wanted to do. So, you know, I pretty much signed up right away. But my focus still wasn't here on this business. Um, So, you know, didn't get off to that fast start, didn't hit any of the bonuses, started to study, life got in the way, and had to take some time off from that, declined to go to the convention. So it was just kind of moving slow, and wasn't really coachable in the beginning. Just kind of, I wanted to do my own thing. You know, Demorial was like, you know, this is the system and this is kind of the way it's set up and what we do. And I'm like, don't worry about that. I can figure it out. I'll do it my way. So that was me in the beginning. I wanted to do it my own way.
Let's talk about karma.
So yes, yes, yes. So
What did you do for
it
your
took a
upline?
while. Yes, yes, yes. It took a while. It took a while. Got him a couple training sales in the beginning. So that was good. But it took a while. And then so that was April, and then around that November, again, I still really wasn't, kind of one foot out in, one foot out, showing up to trainings here and there. And then I was told about um the securities and the extra stream of income. So I said, okay, that's great. So I locked in on that. So beginning in January of 23, I just started studying. So I really wasn't working the business. I just like from January to September, I believe it was, I was just studying for all the securities exams.
So in the last year, you've really expanded your mind. I mean, I remember you telling me when we had connected maybe about a year ago, and you said my goal is to do 100 appointments in the next year. And
Yes.
so I was inspired by that. I got to. So for everybody listening, this Q&A, if you're wondering what's the point is because Joe could be your neighbor. Joe could be the guy at your old job. It doesn't matter, right? We think that you heard Joe and his wife live a good life already. They just bought a second home, right? To most people's standards, he doesn't need a part-time income opportunity.
That part, right?
But he said yes to $2,000 a month part-time because
That's
he
so
was
good.
thinking long-term,
That's so
right?
good. That's so
And
good.
so just keep that. He wasn't necessarily motivated by the competition and the recognition initially. He wanted to get his license. And a lot of us think, we need to follow this way, which there is a system in place. We want people to follow the system in place, right? And we're mastering our system right now for the newest person to be able to see success. But that first year, after when we had started doing appointments together, you were, is it okay to say, a little nervous to get actually in front of people? Was it a little nerve-wracking to do the appointments?
Not to do the appointments,
Okay.
to schedule the appointment.
Okay. Okay.
Right. I think for me, like doing the appointments was fine, but to scheduling them, reaching out to people, prospecting in person, all that to schedule them was, yes, definitely.
And that's nerve-wracking because, I mean, no, you don't have to explain that. Most of us feel that fear. There's that fear of not wanting to be a burden, or the fear of rejection, or the fear of whatever those things are. And what you found, I would guess, is an impact. Did you realize after doing a handful of appointments that the results were bigger than you imagined? The ability to impact people.
Definitely. And I want people to know too, I getting on the appointments, I saw the impact, but it still took some time for it to really settle in and to really understand that. So you can kind of see the impact, but then it still took some time after that to really, connect the impact to building, to growing, to really helping people, and expanding. So that still took some little bit of time after that as well.
That's awesome. And so I just want to highlight, in the last 6 months, I looked up Joe's numbers. In the last 6 months, you've averaged,
I have some numbers up if you want, Geli, from 2023.
do you have
I
the
haven't
23,
seen any of
20?
these numbers.
You ready? I mean, you're going to be impressed.
Do you have
You're
the
gonna be
23? Do you have the
Yeah.
23, 24 numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Average monthly premium, $169. Average recruits per month, 0. Average monthly income, $203. I mean, that looks like that is the beginning of $1 million earner's business.
Amazing.
Right? Let's take
And
a
really,
look at what we got for 2024.
I had asked Joe, by the way, really quick, Geli. I asked Joe what was the change for 2024, and that started in March. Is that right, Joe?
Yes.
So March to now. That's damn good.
Look at this.
That's damn
Average
good.
Average monthly income, 2,800. Average recruits per month, 5. Average monthly income, 1,200. And so really, right, you started focusing about a year ago, but became fully licensed then, and are working on one more license now. And let me just highlight a couple things. In March, when he made that big decision, right? there was a strong income that month. I believe May is when there was another promotion.
Yep.
Income part-time with Primerica was $2,800 for the month.
Yep.
This month so far, you guys, we're only 2 weeks into Primerica's comp for the month, and he's already over 2,000 in income. He could very well hit $4,000 in income on a part-time basis this month. And so when I have people that are saying to me, right, can you make money here? Is this a thing? Yeah, you don't have to do 100 appointments to make money. He's got a full-time job managing people. He doesn't, it's not a walk in the park what he's doing. It's big stuff. And so doing this, would you agree, Joe, that this is feeding your soul in a different way? Why you laugh?
Jordan asked me for a MacBook. I mean, what do you call it? Not the MacBook. What's the thing? iPad earlier today, and I told him no. And now he's just texting me $4,000. Why can't I have that?
That's what happens when you're family business, big dog. They see the cash. They see it.
So for people that don't know, Joe's 2 district leaders right now are two of his sons, right? So we got Jordan and Jalen. We got Janelle on here too.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a family business, and that's what happens when you see some success, and I'm flaunting your income. So there you go. All right, Jordan.
I'm sorry. So what was your question?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you said feeding his soul differently than his career right now.
Absolutely. Would you agree that what you've been doing over the last 6 months is feeding your soul? It's a different way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One is, been, kind of draining, and the other is, truly helping people, and just seeing that there's limitless, right? There's no end, to where we can take this. I had a friend who, I was trying to do a life policy with. He's been running from me for a couple of months now. And he just texted me last night and said, can we meet this week? And I said, sure. And he said, another one of our friends' brother just died.
Oh.
He was in his early 50s, and this guy's in his early 50s as well. And I said, sure, let me know about the services and so forth. And I said, the insurance is important. We never know. And he said, that's why I just contacted you, right? After months of me being after him. And now it took something like that for it to kind of hit home to him. But, what we do is powerful. We have a lot of power in our hands, and we can impact people. So that is definitely feeding me. Yes, absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say that we are proud of you. Thank you for leading from the front. Thank you for doing the what's happening now. We see your numbers. We see you focused. We know the regional leader promotion is happening ASAP. And again, shout out to Jordan for getting that exam passed. Very proud of you. Another $50 in your pocket. In case you weren't sure, Jordan, there was other cash that should be in your pocket too. So hopefully that came your way.
That's the iPad fund.
That's the iPad fund. 100%. All right. The rest
Give
of
a
it
round of applause to Joe, please, everybody. Give a round of applause. That's a big deal. Big deal. You too, a lawyer. I know you see him, man. That's a big deal. Hey, listen. Now we get to kick it off with Geli. And I just want y'all to know something really quick. This training that we're going over tonight, I know I've talked about it a little bit, but this was because I wanted to see it. I needed to see it, and I asked Geli to see if she'd be willing to really just talk about her cash flow. And if you're brand new, if you haven't really been able to experience Coach Chris and Coach Geli, when y'all really get to know them, you'll understand that they're very modest. They're very humble. They don't talk about cash flow a lot. They talk about how we help people. They talk about how they can help us. And so doing this is next level vulnerability, because Geli, you've never actually ran these numbers and looked at your numbers career-wise, have you?
Definitely not in front of anybody else.
Right. So this right here, I want y'all to know that, again, this is Geli. I appreciate it, making this training. I'm inspired. I told Geli I could give a damn if it was just me and her doing this tonight, that it's all I needed. I want you to understand it. And so just to be able to do a quick introduction, Geli's going to talk about the power of the Primerica opportunity. This truly is the best part-time and full-time business in American history. And so a couple of points for us to remember. The founder of Art, A.L. Williams, which is now Primerica, is Art Williams. And he said everybody wants to be somebody. And so this business was truly created with that in mind. Primerica was created for part-timers. What did Joe just show us? That he's a great part-time teammate, right? Who would want somebody like Joe on y'all's team? Okay, 100%, because when they win, other teammates win, you win as well. Why was Primerica built with part-timers in mind? Is because Art Williams said that we have the ability to recruit good, quality, influential leaders in the community. See, every person that's hearing my voice, you make an impact in your community somehow. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, you make an impact, right? Here's another thing too, is that you're a good person. It would be impossible in this environment that we're in for you to last and stay long-term if you didn't have the right heart. That's what that's who Primerica attracts. Another reason why we're so big about great part-timers, because we're not forced to sell life insurance to make a living. I want y'all to understand that there's life insurance companies out there, financial services companies out there, that you have to do it full time. You have to leave everything. You have to make 100 cold calls a day. I mean, it is absolutely insane. We don't have to do that. That is one of the reasons why we're able to help people with no pressure and do what's right for the client. See, keeping all that in mind is the reason why we have our leadership, Geli and Chris, just to talk about their story a little bit before they really jump into it. See, this picture right here is Coach Geli, Coach Chris at the convention with all of us in tow. Listen, it was like herding cats, okay? Like how we were. We were all over the place. It was so much fun, but this is where they were at, front seat showing up. And Sabrina, I know that you know, right? But for the teammates who haven't heard, you know, our team's, our leader's story, is they started in 1997. Yeah, she means Eric. She means both of y'all, Erica. Okay, she means Erica Rodriguez and Erica Jones. Okay, both of y'all. You understand? So listen, started in 1997 as a young family who was barely making ends meet. They're going to talk about that here in a second. But because of this opportunity, they worked Primerica as a part-time teammate and earned consistent income by doing what's right for clients. See, as Coach Geli goes through her numbers, please don't forget this. We don't make a dime until we make a difference. She's not going to be talking about her income to brag, y'all. I hope it inspires you, because it inspired me even 13 years later in this business. So as we come up, okay, please act like Geli is just talking to you. If she asks you a question, put a response in. If something moves, you put it in the chat. All right, we're going to try to keep it as minimal as possible when it comes to the interruptions, because, again, this is a very vulnerable moment. But if y'all are in a position, please take yourself off mute. All right, if you're not, put in something in the chat. And welcome up our coach, who is, again, being vulnerable and showing us everything that she's got. Coach, take it away. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm very, very grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I appreciate everybody being on today. This is definitely a different meeting. So hopefully I don't cry, because even just talking to Taylor, I was getting all choked up. And it's because when you're in the thick of it, right? We've got a lot of teammates. I was making calls to some teammates today and talking to teammates that are in the thick of it, right? Whatever it is. And we've got one of the slides that I'm just going to throw out though right now that says we're either coming out of a storm, in the midst of it, or going into it. So be prepared, right? Life is challenging. Life isn't easy. And we all start at different places, right? And so sometimes when you look at where you're at, you might, right, Joe, you might look at your situation and your numbers and go, well, I'm not there yet, right? I've been in the business for a year and I haven't made $1 million yet, right? So this don't compare, compete with yourself instead, right? This is your journey. This is your journey. And so I'm going to talk about ours. Again, you might look at that and go, wow, I can't believe you stayed. But here was the thing. When I looked at Primerica, I did not look at Primerica as, okay, I'm going to make $1 million. So here, Riley, for me, Primerica, what I was excited about Primerica for was I didn't have to work a full-time job because I've never been a good employee. I like to get up when I want. I like to take a bathroom break when I want. I like to volunteer at kids' school when I want. That is how I worked. And I worked in corporate for a while, a very short while. But while I was doing that, I realized that I remember having to ask to take a couple hours off to go to my kids' school for a party at their school. And my boss told me no. And that was like the beginning of my, oh, I don't like this life. I had children and I wanted to be that person that could be involved in their lives, right? So go ahead, Taylor. So this talks about our beginning here. So I love that. Yes, freedom. Freedom is the key, right? And so when we got started, we had a family very young. Yeah, similarities there. We had a family very young. So I bumped into Primerica in March of 1997. And at the time I was working in sales and marketing. We had 2 little kids that were 7 and 8, a brand new mortgage. And I saw a possibility that I could have, just like Lori, just like your husband said, I could have freedom of choice. I could decide when I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And the person who introduced me to the company was a girlfriend of mine that was training with the company. And I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. And so that's why. And I took a chance. And at the time, I was working full time. My kids were in karate, so I decided why not teach karate, because I wanted to hang out with them. So I was doing that, super involved in school and everything else. And so it took me till November of 1997 to get my license. So for those of you who've maybe tried to pass your exam a couple times and you're struggling, maybe for those of you who are just nervous to take the darn test, it took me 9 months or 8 months to go from IBA to getting my license. Okay. So December of 1997, right? At that time, we also attended our very first company trip. Well, prior to that, so a few months in, August of 97, I find out about a trip to Arizona. And it was every other year, the Team of Destiny would take the team to a different place. And it was at the Princess Resort in Arizona. And it was like $3,000. And you guys, we were broke. We did not have it, but I did have a credit card. And so going against, what I thought I was supposed to do, but I figured, well, I'm going to invest in my business. So we went to this trip in Arizona. That was the first time, like, they had folded toilet paper in the bathroom and a phone on the wall. And it was fancy schmancy stuff. I had never experienced anything like that. Had I not went, I don't know if I would still be here, because I learned there was a world different than the world I grew up in. A few months later was the first company convention. Mind you, we still hadn't made money yet. Right? So December of 97, we attended our first company convention in St. Louis. We got on a bus with a bunch of people. Here's the crazy thing. Chris found out that one of his childhood friends had passed away like 2 days before we left. He was going to miss the funeral. It was somebody that he was close to. And I remember him saying, well, we have the choice between focusing on the past or focusing on our future. And he chose to come with me and focus on our future. We heard Jimmy Meyer speak. I fell in love with this business hearing him speak. We came back. I quit my job to focus on the family and learn the business. I had never felt that way before in my heart. For those of you who are on, you might feel like, gosh, is there a possibility? Is there hope for me here? Okay, there is. There was hope for these two kids, right? We look like babies. I was 25 in this picture. But when I was 24, I remember going on my first appointment. They're like, are you old enough to do this? Right? So Jordan, it doesn't matter, right? Jalen, it doesn't matter what age you are. What matters is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to try? Are you willing to impact people and make a difference? So 1998, we got married. We did things all backwards. 1999, we had our youngest child. And I'm just looking here. And she came with me. I was a nursing mom. She came with me on appointments. I had her in my little carrying case, not really, but the car seat. I took her on appointments with me. And I always said, well, like, if people see her, they're not going to want her to cry. So if I'm trying to close business, they're going to be like, all right, let's get it done. And I'd close business because she was cute. In 2000, I got my securities license. I did a couple $25 a month PACs. And so, people contributing right away. And in the beginning of 2001, I had a very, very close family member who lost their job. And they were in their late 40s and had $100,000 and asked me if I could do something with it. And I wanted to pee my pants. Like, it was terrifying. I'm like, there's no way So I had, our wholesalers working with me. Now, mind you, I said 2001. What happened in September of that year? The freaking
9/11.
bottom.
Right.
The bottom blew out, right? So I invest $100 grand plus of a very immediate family member's money. And a few months later, the market crashes. And I had her husband calling me saying, I knew we made a mistake doing this and da-da-da. And it was so uncomfortable. But I learned so much through that process. And you know what? Those clients remained clients because I had people at my disposal that I could call and say, hey, I got an angry client, because you talked to them. And they did. And they stayed clients. And currently, they've been retired for 15 years, 14 years. And 100% of their assets are with us.
That's
and
amazing.
They tell people all the time that because I get referrals from them. It happens to be my parents, right? They tell
That's
people,
awesome.
because of our daughter, we're never going to run out of money. Like, that stuff changes your life when you experience those kind of things. Okay. So back to business, my desire was to be a mom. We had 3 kids under 10. All I wanted was to be a parent that I desired when I was a kid. Okay. Our parents do our best, but they don't always get it right. I didn't always get it right, but we tried. I was involved in everything. I was involved in school. I volunteered, sports, scouts, swimming lessons, piano lessons, play dates, vacations. Chris worked overnights for a few years, and then he traveled for work. Sometimes was gone for weeks at a time. He was making decent income, but I was primary for everything at that point, for the most part. So being a full-time mom, right? Again, they were my full-time job. This was a part-time income. So from the year 2000 to 2011, we averaged 9 recruits per year, 24,000 in premium, which ends up being about just under 1 recruit and 2,000 a month in life business. Okay. My income during that time was about 13 grand a year, $1,100 a month.
Awesome.
And you can look at that and say, well, is that Was that good? Right? It was what I chose to do. I knew what I had to do if I wanted to make more. But my focus was the family. My focus was being exactly where I was being. So I was a full-time mom, but my adult escape, you know, was my second career. We all need an adult escape. It's great to be a parent, but we all need an adult escape. So I started to get passionate about helping families get out of debt. I knew I was really good at getting into debt. And if I could help people, including myself, get out of debt, that was exciting.
I know that's right.
And so I analyzed and replaced whole life policies. I got so good at it. I would like sit up at night and I was practicing my presentation. I was highlighting policies. And so that's an equivalent. If you look at that income, I calculated based on 10 hours a week of work. Now I did op nights and stuff, but that's not work. I'm talking about across the kitchen table work. I had to drive to clients' appointments, right? We didn't even have GPS at that time. I had like a map book or something, but that was on average $28 an hour. I have a 2-year degree in nothing special. And part-time was able to make approximately 28 to 35 bucks an hour based on the time I put in to help families. During that time in 2004, I experienced my first death claim. I got a phone call at 11 o'clock at night from one of my childhood friends that his 14-year-old passed away. He wanted to make sure the insurance was in place. I had another death claim in 2005, another death claim in 2006, and in 2007, we were backup parents while friends of ours were out of state. And I got a phone call that their daughter, who was 17 at the time, was in a car accident and was killed. We've paid over 25 death claims while being in this business. Close friends, parents, family members, right? So from 2000 to 2011, looking at that time frame, like I said, we averaged 9 recruits, so 1 by 2,000 in premium. I'm just looking here. Okay, so Chris has been in construction since high school. He's a carpenter. He built houses, framed houses, remodeled houses, you know, commercial, all the things. He was running his own business for years and he was making good money. In 2008, we all know what happened. The economy took a turn and things changed. So he then got some jobs where he was extremely undervalued and underpaid and embarrassed to be working doing what he was doing after billing out 50, 60 bucks an hour, right? And so in 2011, things got rough. We ended up getting, we were in the beginning of foreclosure proceedings. So this stuff is hard for me to talk about. It's hard for me to talk about because I had at my fingertips the ability to change my life, right? But for whatever reason, he was bringing in the income and I was running the family, and I just didn't know that I was capable of more. So we made a decision. We made a decision. Yeah, fear. Yeah. We made a decision to put more emphasis on our Primerica business and practice what we preached. As we said earlier, you're either in the midst of the storm coming out of it or you're about to head into it. But how are you going to handle it is the question. I could have filed bankruptcy. I didn't. And if somebody did, I'm not judgmental, but for me, I knew I had the knowledge and I had everything that we needed at our fingertips. So I started digging us out. I bought books on credit repair. I wrote letters to our creditors and said, here's my plan. I did F&As monthly for us. And my income, we took from $25,000 in 2011 to $45,000 in 2012, just by putting a little bit more focus on the business. That's it. You guys think about where you're at right now, where your job is. if your spouse lost their job and you had to double your income in a year, could you do it? Here you can. It's different. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Okay, so from 2012 to 2016. So we got ourselves where we needed to go, right? And then he got back on track and things were fine. We really started focusing on building a well-rounded business, life insurance, and investments. Okay. I was writing more securities. About half of my income was coming from securities. And at that point, I averaged about one recruit, about $2,000 a month, but we were developing a securities business, an investment business that started to create more residual income, and it started to create more referrals. In 2013, we had a house fire, lost our attached garage completely. Two of our kids were on and off in crisis. One of them got so sick, I couldn't really leave them for long at all. Like, it was rough for years, a couple years. It was very rough. Yet our business, this business was a positive outlet for me. It allowed me continue to grow. I always self-developed, right? Learned, trained, develop others. It was a place for me to step outside of the chaos of life, because we all experience the chaos of life, and oftentimes we don't talk about it. We just sit in it and feel alone, and like everybody else has this perfectly beautiful thing, and yet we're inside dying, right? But what I found out is when I was across the kitchen table, whether it was the physical symptoms I was experiencing or the emotional things based on some of the stuff my kids were experiencing, I was able to step outside of that and place my heart, my effort, everything into the families I was meeting with. Okay. So let's talk about the change, right? Because all of this, you guys, this was 20 years. From 97 to 2017, that was 20 years of working part-time, of building a residual income, but of mostly focusing on figuring out my family, right? So September 2016, I got sick. I was sick for a while and I wasn't addressing it. And then I got really sick and ended up in the hospital and had emergency surgery. While I was recovering, I read a book called Change or Die. And I was inspired. And during that recovery, I read 2 more books. And what I realized is that my physical symptoms, my emotional symptoms, it was all tied together. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke. And so we made a decision. You know, I spoke to people all the time about financial independence. And yet I only worked hard enough to get by. At that time, I had a mentor in Primerica, Mike Langrell, who was not financially benefited at all from anything that I did, but encouraged me. And during that time, he said, I want you, I was telling him about the book, and he said, I want you to share about that book on the next Monday call that he ran for the Team of Destiny RVPs. It was very much outside of my comfort zone. And I did it. And every week he would ask me to speak on more things. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself and that nobody else at that point seemed to see in me. He always encouraged me to dream bigger. And then I was connected by a guy in our area, Adam Shetty, who I am in business with, I co-op with now. And he said, I've been watching your numbers. This was in 2016. I've been watching your numbers and I'm seeing you grow, and what's the change? Can we meet for coffee? So we met for coffee, and it turned from, we talk about this, right? We talk about accountability. Joe's been great at it, sending me daily messages. When you're accountable to somebody, you're going to work harder than you are for yourself. So it went from meeting once a month with Adam and I to meeting once a week, to literally talking every morning and every night, because we both had a focus of becoming a vice president. I was not happy in the environment in the office that I was in. It wasn't the environment that I wanted it to be. And so at that time, there were some other things going on in life. We were prepping for our youngest to go off to college. My stepmom was dying. They lived in Florida, so I was back and forth from Florida and then back and forth to Iowa. And all at that same time, I was frustrated with the environment of the office that I was working out of. And so I talked to Dennis Viant and I said, I needed to do something. And he said, go get your Series 26 license and open up your own office. So I did. So we became Series 26 licensed, which allowed me to be a principal and oversee other investment licensed agents. And so go ahead to the next one. So you can see 2016, we were at 34,000 in income. 2017, so our team broke records and finished at 44 by 44,000. And life seemed to be falling apart, like it sometimes does when we decide to break through, right? So 2017, you can see there was an increase in income. We were in a different place at that point. Like I said, my youngest was our youngest. Our other two kids were out of the house. There's a 10-year gap between them. Our youngest went off to college, and I'm like, I got to make a change in my life. I can no longer use my children as an excuse for why not to win, but as the reason to win. If you have young kids, you can live life how you want to live life, right? But just don't ever use your kids as an excuse, because had I known how amazing, thank you, Jenny, had I now known how amazing it was to push through what we pushed through when we did, I would have done it 15, 20 years sooner. It doesn't take forever to see success here, you guys. You see what Joe's done in a year. I was just afraid. I wasn't self-developed enough, right? I wasn't at the place where I felt like I could lead. But you can, and you have all the support. So all it takes is a decision. We made that change. We made that decision in 2016, and then we acted on it throughout 2017. August, we dropped our youngest off in college, our youngest off in college, September. I was at the bedside when my mom passed away, and on October 1st, we opened up our very own office, and we had an amazing, amazing team that we basically said, we're going to push for VP for you guys. It is for you. The team took ownership. We grew ourselves. We had 27 licensed agents. We had kickoffs. You guys, I was only making 40-some thousand at the time, but Chris was also working. We paid our own lease. We paid for everything. I bought everything that we needed to get in the office. We paid rent every month. I had our own insurance. I paid an office staff. Denise, yes, you remember. We did everything together as a team. This was before the Zoom era, right? So we had people in there all the time. We were in there every day. Saturday morning, we were in there cooking breakfast. We had birthday parties. We had people studying for securities. At late at night, midnight, 1 in the morning, people there back at 5 a.m. studying for licenses, you guys. We were fighting for the goal. We wanted the future jersey as a team. And the whole team, it wasn't just me pushing for me. It was a team vision, because the team understood when they pushed for it and they helped us to get there. They had the chance to get there as well. We rallied like crazy. Oh yeah, comfort is the enemy of achievement. There was no comfort. So during that same time frame, we sold our house in 2018. And we made a crazy choice, which is I can't even believe we did it. But we had a friend that literally they were dealing with some hoarding and needed help, and they wanted their house to be remodeled, and they're like, hey, if Chris is willing to remodel the house, you guys can just live with us after we sold their house. We moved into a basement and lived in a 12 by 12 room. And this wasn't because of money, you guys. We walked away with equity from the home. We had been homeowners for 20 some years. We had a lot of equity in the house. We moved into a 12 by 12 room, Chris and I and our old dog. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to be a regional vice president so freaking bad. I did not want to be comfortable. Yes, forced focus. Chris knows all he did was work at work and then come to the house we were at, and he worked at the house. I was gone 17, 18 hours a day. We didn't see each other. I was no longer, my kids were still, they were doing great and still in crisis sometimes, but my focus was becoming a vice president. And it was the team. In May of 2019, so April 2019, I got a call from Dennis. It was like April 13th. I got a call from Dennis Viant, $1 million earner. And he says, Geli, you did it. Everybody's in alignment. You're ready. But for you to get recognized at the convention in July, you have to get the promotion by June. So I had, instead of 60 days to do an RVP run, we had 45 days to do the RVP run. In the middle of that call, I get a call on the other line. After I get off the phone, I call. It was my son, massive crisis. His family, little kid, his massive crisis. He's like, I need a place to move, right? And mind you, he couldn't move in with us. I get off the phone and I literally leave. I'm trying to pull myself together. And the next day I get a phone call from our youngest that she is heading from college campus to the hospital and was extremely sick. And Chris went. Chris went. I couldn't go. I couldn't go a day. I had 45 days to get a promotion. Yet I'm the mama who wanted to be there, right? He did such an amazing job. We became regional vice presidents the end of May in 2019. I love this. It is your reaction to adversity, not the adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop. So we did it, right? We did it. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. And so ownership exchange, we gave up. It was a whirlwind, Denise, you're right. And we had so many amazing teammates that were helping, so much family, that Chris was a freaking rock star throughout it. 14 life licenses and 7 securities licenses we gave up in our replacement exchange. Okay. And we went from that year, 2018, we made 66 grand that year. 2019, we made $90,000 after giving up more than half of our team. The regional vice president promotion, you guys, is Erica DeMorial. The regional vice president promotion is amazing. And you guys are so capable of making that happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we all know what happened, right? So January of 2020, we're at 98,000 in income. And the world changed just like that. February, I couldn't open up my office. Right? We were having 50 people. Adam and I were co-oping. We had 50 people showing up to our Tuesday nights. We had 20, 30 people showing up to Saturday. Denise, remember, she was a part of that, right? There was shutdown. We didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do a freaking Zoom. I didn't know, you guys, I didn't know how to do a business without getting in my car and driving to somebody's house. Some people let me, right? Eva, I met with you during that time. I know but for the most part, we had to figure this all out all over again. The end of the year, 2020, second year and a full year I was an RVP, we were at 65,000 in income. Chris was still working, thankfully. but we were figuring it out. We were figuring it out, right? So in 2021, so the end of I suppose I'll say the end of 2020, we moved out to where we live now. We moved out to Wisconsin in the woods. And Taylor, you can go to the next page, I think, if you're able. Thank you. And June that year, and so I started doing what I knew, right? We didn't have a big team at that point. We still had a team, but we didn't have a big team. I went back to really focusing on securities, and we started making good money again. And that June, Chris came to me and he said, "I'm giving you a 30-day notice. I've spent my life building other people's dreams, and it's time for us to build our own dreams." I was nervous. He always made a decent income, and it was a W-2 income. But how crazy is it? By the end of that year, we went over the ring, right? We ended up at $102,000, $37,000 increase in a year. And it was because we were now a team together, right? 2022, we went over 135,000 as an income. You guys, I didn't know when I was growing up, I didn't know anybody who made $100,000. We came from a very, very blue collar, low income area. Throughout July of 22 to December, I was back and forth taking care of another dying parent in Florida, who then I was the executor for. So 2023, we did have a well-rounded business. So I was able to do these things, right? 2023, we connected with Taylor, and love that. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And we then started making some changes, right? So the network was completed. We're credited for 50% of the activity, but definitely we're giving 100% of the effort. So that's the year I started working on our business. We were just looking at the numbers. And so what that means, right, is that I made the year before 90,000 in securities because that's where a lot of time and energy went into. And when I stopped working in my business and started working on the business, developing a system, our securities income was cut in half because I wasn't focusing on personal. You can call it sacrifice. I was blessed to have this amazing team. And so the end of the year, we were at just under 90,000. But our income didn't actually go down because I was also the executor and had some inheritance. And so we were okay that year, right? Don't worry about us. We were good. But let's talk about, I'm just going to kind of wrap up here and then talk about the vision. So I'm just looking here. This past June, right? We've got to focus now. Our focus is the big vision. We're going to have 150 licensed agents by next summer. We're going to promote 3 RVPs and have a heavy focus on helping each of you have that part-time income. We're at 114,000 for the year so far. In June, 2 months ago, we made over 21,000 for a month. I used to make that's more than I would take home in a year when I started. And I was traveling, working that marketing job where they wouldn't let me have a couple hours off to volunteer for my kids. We're making that in a month now. You guys are better than I was then, right? And I just want to say this. I know based on where our team is, we're developing $100,000 earners. The people on this team, Naomi, right? Just learning, looking at the teammates that we have. Hi, Riley, you guys have what it takes. Miss Peggy, I know you're here. You're going to just get that exam passed to start making that part-time income that you know you're capable of. Mike and April, you've got a young family. It's time for us to do what we have to do to make the decisions that we have to make to get where we want to get to. And I want to send a shout out here to Chris. He spent years working physically hard providing for our family. so we could raise our kids the way we chose. I'm thankful that Primerica taught us everything, showed us the possibilities of what life could be. I would not be here without his support. His patience with me has been amazing. He always believed in me more than I believed in myself, and now he gets to live his dream. He spent his life building other people's businesses and homes. Now he's literally building our dreams. He's building us currently a greenhouse, a new chicken coop. We're finishing our outdoor sauna. His job is to take care of the home while I continue to help grow your business. Everyone has a different path, and whatever you desire here is feasible. It's your choice, right? People are now becoming regional vice presidents within 12 months of getting started. We saw people making over $400,000 in income in a 2-year time frame. And if that's what you desire, then go do it. If your plan is part-time income, April, then go do that. Erica Rodriguez, if your plan is to support your man and provide referrals and be that person in other people's lives that can coach and help people move forward, then do that. There are no ceilings. There are no limits. This is your life. This is your future. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I spent years thinking the way I was doing it was the wrong way and feeling embarrassed by my story and my journey. And I just want to say, Taylor, I thank you for letting me know that it's okay, that the journey that we have is okay, right? We're going to be full owners next year. We'll be cash flowing $300,000 in income by next summer because you guys are going to be cash flowing strong monthly part-time income, because you guys are going to be getting those district, division, regional leader promotions, because we've got a system in place that Taylor has been instrumental with helping with, that Erica has been instrumental, Erica Jones helping with the licensing part of it, right? Demorio has been helping, Yvette has been helping. We've got so many people. We're back to that place where we've got a team that is ready to grow. And I'm so excited to see you guys win. And on that note, that is our story. That is our journey. I appreciate you guys. I know this wasn't a normal training. And we're just so very grateful for all of you.
Please take yourself off mute. Put something in the chat. Give it up for our coaches, giving it everything that she's got. If that didn't listen, check your breathing if that didn't inspire you right there. Thank you so much, Geli. Thoroughly appreciate you making that happen. I'm dead serious right there. I'm telling you, like, that's how you know we looking at leadership, y'all. Future senior vice president. I'm telling you, $300,000 a year is going to make it happen. That's the end of our training, y'all. Recording is going to be sent out. If you have a teammate that wasn't on tonight, you got to call them. Let them know to watch the recording. That is going to inspire somebody to change their life. Joe, thank you very, very much for you leading the way, man, running your race. You are inspiring people in a big way. Great job, Jordan, for getting licensed. You guys have a good night. Junior brokers, please stay on. I appreciate it, guys. Great job tonight. Thank you so much. Yes, Eva still sharp and still. I love it. Thank you, Miss Peggy. Appreciate that so much. Yes, Jendell. That's what I'm talking about. Great job, Erica Rodriguez, for being on tonight. So excited. Naomi, thank you for putting things in the chat. We appreciate that. Sabrina, good having you on tonight. Great having you on. Mike and April, love having you guys plugging in. I'm telling you, that's so big. Jenny, great job tonight. Thank you so much for being on. So excited. Lori, get this close, champ. This close, Lori, for your explosion. I'm telling you, keep chugging away. Glad to be part of the family. Glad to have you, Eva. Glad to have you. Coach Cam, freaking superstar, being on tonight. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being on. You guys have a great night. Appreciate you so much. Man, oh man. Ooh. My gosh. All right, I got everybody in the waiting room.